See that? Is it a dance party? Let's see. Or is it a bubbly? It's a bubbly kind of day. I like bubbles. I think bubbles goes with the theme of the day, Kingsman, and this hilarity of of the news channels. The news. What's the news today? How can we wake people up with fear in their hearts and minds? And how can here, black is white and white is black. It's scary if I'm like this. Does this make more sense? Or do you all like bubbles? Like bubbles? I like a dance party, but because I wanted to make it a little more a little bit more ooh, cryptic. Look at that. That's crazy. I like that. May it be this way. So y'all been on here before I was on here. This is okay. Now that I know this is how this works, and I can maybe set out, I'll try to figure out how to set up notifications to, like, if I'm going to do a show. But although, you know, like, I like doing things at last minute, it ain't even like that, you know. Cryptic is very cool. Anybody get the news? Did anybody get the news today? I woke up this morning and I was like, oh, let me get on Instagram. Let me see what's fun and interesting that people have to say. And this that Las Vegas thing is pretty funny. There's a video game that's based on that hilarious news report of the. It's always funny. It says active shooter. Active, yeah. The guy with the camera. That's the active shooter. You realize you shoot with the camera. That's what they're saying. They're not lying to you. There's actively nice actively shooting a promo. It's a promo for you to buy pharmaceutical drugs and be fearful. That's what they're shooting. And he's active too. I'm sure he's like out there like probably doing push-ups in the morning and going to the gym and being active. Shit is well beyond hilarious now. I wonder how long it's been like this amazing. What's up, escaping you? So I saw Kingsman last night. Let me I gotta go close this thing. I'll be right back. I thought it was a good transition into this hilarious I don't know, it's just utter buffoonery and it's just beyond hilarious. I don't even know. It is early. It's early everywhere, huh? Due for more bullshit. Yeah, isn't it amazing? I don't hear about these things usually till like 2 or 3 days later, because I just don't, you know, the news isn't part of my life in any way, in any way at all. But you know, you got these people. You know what I like about these things? What I really like about these things, honestly, is you can right away. Yes, smells foul. Yeah, really. If it's on the news, there's a 99.999% chance that it's absolutely made up garbage. You know. And I'm gonna make this connection to the movie that I watched last night in a second. But what I really like about these things is then you can find out the truthers, I'm going to put the big air quotes up here, the truthers out here that are actually either like wide asleep or completely lying sacks of shit, because if they say anything about this and go, oh, my heart goes out to the families, this is the kind of things that we're talking about, that's right away when I go, that person, everything they do is absolutely, I can't respect the word they have to say, because they're so blind to, like, literally with their two eyeballs to just look at the thing and go, yeah, it's you know, there's a couple really big channels out here that whenever something like this happens, they're like, oh, we gotta feel sorry for the blah blah blah, the families and all of this. I'm like, man, oh man, you in on it too, like literally in on it, you know, in on the scamming people for cash. But so this movie Kingsman I watched last night, it was amazing, and I was like, this movie is so perfect right now, because if people go out and watch this, like it's a beautiful movie. It's well done, and it was a really good entertainment. But they bypassed all of the hidden esoteric symbolism. They just out in your face were like, this is how it is. If you don't get it, like, it's kind of like whenever you tell somebody, hey, don't do that because you're gonna fall off and hurt yourself, or there's something there. Don't, this is the I told you so. Hey, dumb asshole, we told you so. Like, this is that movie. That movie is like, if you don't get it already, they don't even use symbolism. They literally call the woman. I mean, this isn't. I'm not giving anything away because you'll know right away. Her name is Poppy. Miss Poppy, like poppy seeds. Like, and the whole thing is about like just dead on in your face everything. There's no like, oh, well, it's hidden symbolism. We could have done that 25, 30 years ago with movies, but now, and that is just like watching the news today. Like, if you can't see how bizarre it is, like, how is there somebody in Las Vegas standing there with the camera filming this shit? If that's all, if people are wilding out, how is someone just standing there filming it? Why isn't that person wilding out? You know how dumb this all is. But I don't even want to go on. I don't even want to go on to all this tangent because I don't even really care. Like, this is the kind of thing. If you don't get it, like, you're never gonna. If you don't know by now, you're never gonna know. Like, it's hilarious. It really is. Yeah. What do you say? And everybody's gonna be talking about. What do you say, Gary? Yeah, they're already talking about how evil this man is. Yeah, the active shooter. Which man? The one with the camera is the shooter. Remember that. What do you do with the film? You shoot a film. What active? You see how they just use this propaganda language? It's propane. They're just starting a fire in your mind. So go. Yeah, I didn't even know what the person's name is. You can look up active shooter in gematria. If they put quotes around something, they're, who are they talking to? Why put quotes? But yeah, it all is. It's 100% of it. It's just gonna make you like, next thing you're gonna go buy. Like, there's nothing anybody can do about it. They're just gonna keep continuing peddling the shit. And people are gonna continue buying the medicine. I mean, that's exactly what Kingsman was about. And it's funny. It reminded me of that movie. Was it Wall-E? When all the fat people with the 3D glasses on. Is that the part where they're all like just in the chairs, like pushing themselves around, eating all the garbage? Like, that's, to think that's not where we are. Yeah, it's very funny. But I don't know. I don't really get into this pop news, pop culture nonsense. It's because but it was just so hilarious, the timing of it, like waking up, and I was like, I would just like to enjoy my coffee and talk to a friend of mine. And, oh, look at this. See, when you just flip it around, you can see it for its absolute ridiculousness. Like, how bizarre it is. Like, completely how moronic, and the audacity of the hilarity, The audacity of it. How hilarious. It's funny to me. And that people believe this, I'm like, man, you're brain dead. Oh, yeah. Who filmed the capsule lift off of the moon, right? Exactly. Or when it was arriving, or whatever. Like, I mean, the whole thing is it's people don't even ask the obvious questions. Like, it's always this: who's filming the shit? Yeah, all of this shit's going on. The moon thing is hilarious. Like, how did you get somebody there? And then, all this other shit is like, how is somebody sitting there calm as anything, filming everything? And they only got one person filming. Why? Because everybody else was a paid-for actor to not pull their camera out, because anybody else would already have their phone out, if, But apparently somebody was so like, well, I've got to document this for my countrymen. We live on a pear-shaped Earth with aliens on the dark side of the moon, and yeah, people are wilding out in Las Vegas. Yeah, people are always wilding out in Las Vegas, huh? Yeah, Poppy. Oh yeah, Gary. Yeah, Poppy for heroin. Yeah, the whole movie was about heroin. But it was interesting because there's a couple parts where they made a like, oh, just stick to drinking beer. It's a really great movie. I highly suggest it. It's super entertaining. What up, Voldy buddies? The Earth is flat all the way around it. That's damn right. All around it. Anywhere you look, it is So I don't know. I just I figured that idea would take me somewhere with you guys, and we can get into some thought games about stuff. But I don't know. You know, it's kind of like this. I think it's healthy to, you know, like I was saying, when you can find out the other dumb assholes and just out and out fucking liars that are like on social media that kind of say they're truthers or whatever. And if you call yourself a truther, you're already, you know, in my book, a fucking idiot. You're a retard. And yes, I do mean retard. You know, truther is synonymous with retard. I mean, it's just one more label that people need. But I think these things are funny now. You know, like if you're not getting the humor in all this, like how absolutely humorous it is, and to see how people. This gets me into a video I was gonna make, but I'll just dovetail it into here. Like everyone's an actor. Everyone. Mm-hmm. Like I am. Obviously, to a degree. I mean, you know, I come with as much truth as I can, like from whatever I am momentarily. But like, look it, people go to work every day. People act like they're a bank teller. People act like they're a doctor. People act like they're a bus driver. That's not who these people are. People act like they're a teacher. You see them outside of their job teaching with the different clothes on, a different outfit, a different costume, a different custom. You see them out at the bar drinking, eating, hang out with their family. They don't act like that, and they act like that at their jobs, you know? So, I mean, it's all profound. It's all profound. And anywhere, and this even gets into people's, you know, standard lives. They start watching things on TV. They start acting like they think they should. Man, it's funny. Everybody's an actor out here, yo. I mean, to the degree and how much they're peddling filth and, you know, doing it at the expense of everyone else. I mean, that's a whole other story, but yeah. Oh, it's a power to drain society and try. Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, rising love. I mean, this is the obvious shit, but we're talking about deeper stuff. You know what I mean? Like this, it runs deeper than that. This ain't about fucking guns, man. Like I don't care about guns. This is about just upsetting, controlling, and succubusing your energy on a higher level. This ain't about guns. Yeah, they got the guns. If they wanna blow shit up. Like I always say, the New World Order and all this shit. Like y'all got it twisted. Like if they wanted to use guns, like they had already put all your dumbasses in prisons already. Nobody gets it. Like there's enough. It's easy to just round people up and put them in prison. That shit is easy. And come on. Yeah, fear porn. Yeah. I mean, at least at the end of pornography, you can bust a nut. You know. Hey, some of these people, they're getting their nut off on the fear though, huh? They're building up energy. Energy is just energy. Y'all got to remember that. Yeah, the thing about keeping us enslaved, rising love, I think is just goes back to context of you these people out here that want to say, oh, prison planet, you're inside of a dome, blah, blah, blah. No, they're feeding you the same kind of fear as everyone else. Don't let anybody twist it. Like, no, you have to change the way that you perceive all of this, because you know everything is just information and it's perception, and this is control. This is classic perception management. Noam Chomsky, this is, you know, go watch the film that Noam Chomsky did years ago, about basically, it's all about how to, you know, control your perception and how to make consumers out of us. I mean that's the furthering point of it, but basically it's just, you know, what propaganda really is and what it's used for. All the world is a stage. Yeah, manufacturing consent. Yeah, manufacturing consent. That's it. Yeah, peace out. Flipping the script is what's up. Ishako Shaman. No, I don't agree with any form of resistance will persist. That's just, see, that's another pop culture, like, you know, somebody told you something that rhymed and you think it's cute. And I'm being real with that. Like, resistance, do you even know what the word resistance means or a resistor is? Like, what you just allow everything? Yeah, allow somebody to come up in your crib and whoop your wife's ass and whoop your kid's ass and I will just allow you to stick a needle in me. See the idiocy here? No, that's when you have to have knowledge. That's when you have to have no. That's when you have to have gnosis, knowledge, wisdom. That's resistance. A resistance is you put a capacitor or a resistor on an electrical unit, you say, no, that's not okay. I do not consent. I do not allow that. That's not in my best interest, my family's interest, the universe's interest. That's not in the universal good. This is not resistance will persist. Resistance will make stupid people pissed if you want to play rhyme games, but you need to really, like, people that want to go out here chatting all this dumb shit. Like that, see, like that right there, you just saying that irritates me. Because I'm like, what? You think because you could rhyme something it makes sense? Oh yeah, we can dig that. That's what rap music is these days. Hip hop turned into rape music because it's raping your ears and your consciousness to believe that just because we can rhyme something, oh yeah, I can really dig that. They're really saying something deep there. Motherfuckers been saying the same bullshit for years, and it's about perception management. And you think, you know, I'm just going off on that language, man. I don't, you know, I'm not going off on you. It's just, that's the kind of thing. That's that rah 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 shish boom bah, you know, cheerleading bullshit. You know, if you got a technique and a couple words that you can say again and again, that's a mantra, and that's a mantra not for you. That wasn't made for your benefit. Whoever came up with those words, well, go ahead and ask it. You know what? You want to be fun with it. Go ask Savan Bomar what he thinks of resistance. That's the name of his damn website, Resistance 2010. He knows what resistance is. He told you this years ago. So unless you think he's an idiot, unless you think I'm an idiot, you know, you need to change your language up, because as soon as you change your language, you change your mental programming. You change your mental programming, you change your own power. Your power is directly coming out of the verbiage that's running out of your mouth and through your skull. And that's vibration. And that's intensity. That is, you know, there's a certain set of resistance that you need to have towards anything. You can't let just people's words, like, oh no, oh, we're the Buddha, we'll just allow that. Oh, Gandhi, we'll just allow that. Yeah, what did that do? You got their country taken over. It's foolish. The whole practice. Somebody asked me what kind of Buddhist I am. I'm not a Buddhist. Get out of here with that shit. I'm calm as anything. I'm a nice dude. I love everything. I'm all about love, but I ain't namaste, all this shit. You can take that and you take that out with the trash. Just dust my shoulders off here. Stand down. Yeah, exactly. Do I get affected, Voldy buddies, do I get affected by electronics? Oh yeah. I mean, but I've learned to kind of adjust it. What really affects me is me personally, for whatever reason, acoustics and lighting. If I go into a Walmart, I have literally a time limit that I can be in there before I'm like, I have to get the fuck out of here before my brain explodes, because the lighting is so it adjusts my brain and it hurts it. It literally hurts my brain in about 15 minutes. So yeah, but you know, there's ways of doing, you know, kind of being able to walk into what you'd call Babylon or regular society or places like this, and it really is just using resistors and resistance technology of say, what do I got here? Do I have here? We're using something like shungite, using something like black tourmaline, using something like copper, using orgonite, using, you know, literally what they'd use is resistors and capacitors and electrical equipment, using it on your person as you are as well, an energy vortex and generator, and you need to keep that to yourself, you know? Oh yeah, Oblivion 87. Yeah, this is what I've been talking about. I mean, you can listen to all my videos. Yeah, for sure. Conspiracy gurus using the masses to help visualize and manifest. Yeah, absolutely, for sure. I mean, you know, some of them don't. The thing I like to point out to people is even these gurus out here that are doing that, a lot of them don't even realize what they're doing. A lot of them aren't connected. A lot of them aren't like tapped into the club, and they're not getting like specific control orders, like go and control these people like this. They think they're doing something good. There's a lot of people that are in the kitchen trying to, you know, put extra spice in the stew and ruining the stew. There's a lot of people out here that's like, nah, you know, the people in control are like, don't worry, there's going to be 20 people out here doing what we doing what we want them to do without them even knowing it. And there's a lot of people that are actually in the limelight, in the places of 1 million subscribers, and they think they're doing something good, but they're actually part of the equation without even knowing it. I ain't gonna name no names, but you can, because there's no reason to. It's easy to see. If you don't see who they are, then you've missed it. And that's why I started this thing with, like, there's people out here, if they say anything about these television stories, if they're talking about any of the news stations like it has any value or any truth, then you know they're either they're underneath it. They don't know what's going on. They have no clue. Nom nom, you love standing under pylons? Do you mean those orange cones? What do you mean? I'm not understanding what you're saying, pylons. Alex Jones eats my belly fluff. That's amazing. I thought it was just nom nom. I didn't see it. What's the pylons, man? Electric towers. I just got to it, man. Yeah, it's very funny. One time I walked around where all the electric towers were in New Orleans, and it's a very interesting carrier wave. You know, the streets that they're on. I started looking at the names of this. Excuse me. I started looking at the names of the street and trying to feel the energy that I was walking down, like the electrical path, and it was very interesting. I felt like one day that I was actually receiving and pulling off of it, because I mentally changed my awareness. Rather from just walking down this major street and feeling drained afterwards, I was like, what if I just changed my mind to let me see what this power is, let me see what it feels like. And I felt like it changed something. Perception of, you know, I was changing my own perception of consciousness, and it switched something in my brain. When's movie did I see? Kingsman. It's amazing. Go watch it. It's amazing. Easier to see? Yeah. I think Peace Hope. I think it's easier to see for a magnitude of reasons, a bunch of reasons, a plethora of reasons. And I think it's because the people in Hollywood have gotten wise to the fact that they can do more than what they were doing before. They don't even need to hide. This is where the Kingsman movie I was talking about. They don't need to hide anything. There's no symbolism in that movie. They just put it right in your face, like, yo, we're telling you what's going on here. Like, we tried it in symbolism. We tried to disguise it. You ain't getting it that way. Here, let me just show it to you. And this is why this is what Grim Nasty was saying in his last video. He's like, I think they're doing it on purpose now. They're trying to wake people up. Like, I think they've come to the conclusion, like, you know, the real deal is at the end of the yellow brick road is a tiny little, you know, a tiny little man with a big mouth, and he's scared of everything. He don't know what's going on himself, and he's just controlling everything with a megaphone. He's a freak with a megaphone, and that's what television is. And now we got some people that are in there going, man, you know, fuck this bullshit. We gotta let these people know. And so, Kingsman is that, man. It's an excellent movie. You don't even need to see the first one, but the first one was highly entertaining too. Voldy buddies, yes, that's what I'm saying. That's absolutely what I'm saying. Oblivion, we lay in bed under a white sheet like a white sheet of ice. Yeah, depending on the material it's made of. If it's made of plastic, you're basically you're underneath plastic, like if you were buried. They put you in a plastic encasing. So your bed, if it's made of polyester, poly means plastic. Well, it means multiple as well, but polyesters, the esters. Interesting ester came up the other day in my search for things. Look up the woman's name Esther, and then get into like ester plastics and things. It's a pretty interesting study. But yeah, I mean, if your bed turns into cotton or linen or hemp or something else, it's completely different. Yo, nah, I like your style. You watch the static, yeah. That's the white noise that will help your brain for sure. Life is a meditation within itself. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. But you can't take that to too far of an extent because we do have some sort of universal, absolute, like, there is an objective reality. We're not playing this psychosis, psychedelic mantra game of, everybody's reality is what it needs to be, because we can certainly see that there's a large group of people that are being poisoned, like, by everything, and that is a reality. We're not just gonna step aside and go, oh no, they're not. The food isn't poison. There isn't fluoride in the water. We can't just no. No. That's just your reality. That's what you believe. Like, yeah, in the other realms when you're really vibrating, sure, but here in this density, no, there's some sort of reality that we all kind of share, certainly. Like, the truth is, we're on a computer right now. We're not changing that. Speaking of people with 1 million subscribers, salt and pepper wars, Gary. Yeah, interesting. It's interesting that salt is a poison and pepper is a cure. It's very interesting to me. Yeah, it sends you out of your body. That's cool, man. Yeah, I didn't. You know what, Voldy? I never heard him get in too much on the sheets. I thought I watched all his videos, but I guess I missed that one. Yeah, peppermint. Peppermint is pepper to pepper the mind. Spearmint is to spear the mind. Yeah. Here, it's funny you talked about static, and before you got on here, I threw this static channel thingy here on here, huh? Let's see if this one, you like this static or you like this static? Oh, we'll try this one. Or the silver screen. No, let's try this. Yeah, I kind of like this. Be frank, ain't you been asking me this for like every day now? What do you mean, how do I eat it? I don't. There's salt in all food, man. So you're saying like white salt or like soda? You're saying salt like sodium? Yeah, I put a little bit of salt on my food. I'm not out here saying like you have to throw it all away. It's the devil. I'm saying it's a poison, and just like alcohol to a degree is poison, just like food in general is poison, just like TV is poison, just like the radio is poison, just like, but salt, man, a little bit here and there, it's, until you can get to the point where your taste buds work. But, if you're using good quality ingredients in food, the amount of salt you need is minimal, very, 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 very minimal, to the point where you would need none. And so if the food's better and your taste buds work, you wouldn't need any. And the salt they use tends to be sulfur-rich black salt. Yeah, Gary, everything in moderation, I think, is maybe, how about everything in moderation? There's a couple things that, even the smallest amounts probably ain't a good idea. But that's just, I think that's obvious to most people. But the salt thing, man, no. I think salt is if there is something that was used as an enemy of the people, if there is such a thing, it's the salt. That's absolutely it to me. It's too obvious. It's on every table. Why is it on every table? It's hidden in plain sight. It's right there in front of you. Oblivion 87. Careful with that organ. See see this kind of stuff is what is silly to me. Oblivion 87. Careful with that orgonite. What does that mean? What kind of language is that? What do you mean careful with it? Because black helicopters will show up? What do you know about black helicopters? What do they do? And why are you saying that? That to me is the kind of fear mongering that occurs everywhere. You're just repeating some nonsense. Like, how many show up? Where do they show up? There are hundreds of them. Where are they from? Are they from Epsilon 5? Are they part of the government? Are they good? Are they bad? Are they evil? What are they bringing Are they bringing tomato paste to everyone? Are they bringing, like, are they Santa Claus? Are they gonna come shoot you in the face with tear gas? I mean, you know, people repeat a bunch of that. To me is just like fear mongering bullshit. Like, why say that? It's like a little kid. Well, my daddy said that if you play with, that's the kind of shit. You know, I've heard so many people say that, but I've never heard one person tell a story about black helicopters. Like they always say, well, that's what happens, black helicopters. Never heard anybody. Yeah, tell me about all these people that live in the city where the black helicopters are landing in the city. Yeah. I mean, it just, to me, that's just like stupid shit. Oh yeah, you asked me about this yesterday, didn't you? Something else to believe about. I think of what I couldn't understand that. Hold on a second. Yeah, I liked his older stuff. I think he's just, you know, what I've heard these days. He just goes on and on about the larger perspective, the larger storyline and perspective, and it's always about the white man enslaving the black people and his storyline. His storyline, his people's storyline, and that's what it goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on about. You know, so I can't fuck with it no more. I can't listen to it. And I heard he went off on I didn't even watch it. He went off on what's that dude's name? Flat Earther, funny guy. Flat Earth asshole. He went off on Flat Earth asshole. I'm like, what? Tell him a Flat Earth asshole's got an ego problem, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this is as much as I heard, and I was just like, nope. I was like, you know, ego, first of all, ego ain't a bad thing, especially when people confuse it. People think ego is, you know, they confuse ego and personality. And Flat Earth asshole has personality, and he's a goddamn bassist. He plays music. You have to have this. You know? Flat Earth asshole is hilarious. I dig the shit out of that dude. He ain't the smartest guy in the world. Like I don't think like he's winning any competitions for hyper intelligence of how to. But he's smart enough to jam on a bass. He's cool. He's a good dude. His information tends to be pretty good. Some of his connection makes it a little loose, but I mean, you know, then to have somebody that is so much really bringing high level knowledge, and that he's out here subtle redundancy, is that his name? Subtle redundancy? I mean subtle infinity. Ain't nothing infinite about what he's saying. He should look up what the word infinity means. It means complete everything, and he talks about redundancy as far as I know. So, and I'm not going off on him because I'm going to say the same thing he said about Flat Earth asshole. I'm not talking about Flat Earth asshole. I'm talking about his character. Well, then, the character that Subtle Infinity plays is gotten really redundant. I used to respect the mess out of him. I used to try to communicate with him. I watch a lot of his channel. But, you know, I'm tired of hearing about the woe is me about Hawaii. I get it. You live there, the white people came. You know what? Everybody been enslaved, dude. Everybody, this whole world has a larger story. Everything's got the larger storyline of everything. This whole world has got a storyline. I got a storyline. You got a storyline. Your people. And where do you think the word slave came from? It came from the Slavic people. There were more white people enslaved in this country pulled over here than there were Africans. You believe the black African slave story? Well, you better start doing some research on that, because that don't seem to be true at all. You know, especially when you start to considering the color of people, where they live, what their features look like, their hair, their language. I mean, there's too much going on here. There's too much that we don't know. And everybody likes to buy into somebody else's version of history after they read a book. You read a book? You give a fuck about your book? Don't give a fuck about your teacher. Your teacher's full of shit. You know, that's always like, you know, I don't know. You know, I just like, for me, it's like, if you're cool, you're cool. You know, what can we do here from this moment in growing as a people? What can we do moving forward, as they like to say in the business world? What can we do proactively to increase the funding for this company to make sure that the next quarter is better than this one? And then people just like to go off and like, but last time what happened was, in the history of my people, I want my land back. Yeah, so do I. I'm native to this land too. We all native to the land. So people get it real, I don't know. Most people that are talking about egos, they got the biggest egos. Most people talk about egos don't realize it's connected to the personality. Most people that want to get rid of their egos, they don't even know what an ego is. Shit, I got an ego, and I'm if there's any way of being, like, I'm good with it. I don't mind. This is my personality. This is how I am. This is how I express myself. This is me as a human, Archon, God, archetype, artist, you name it. That's what I am. This is how I express myself. Boom. What is that? That's your ego speaking. You're projecting. Somebody says that. You got to watch out for people that say anything about the ego, and you got to watch out for people that say you're projecting. Yeah, I'm projecting. Damn right I am, and I know I'm doing it. And you're receiving, and you're being a redundant clown. When people say that shit. Sorry, I got a little excited, guys. Too much coffee. I don't usually get up this early. Astro Solson is awesome. I like him a lot. What's up, Rastafu? Maybe the live ones you've been clicking on were already not live anymore, man. Yeah, you know what they say? They say that the wake doesn't steer the ship, huh? Alex Jones eats my fluffy... I wanted to say fluffy butthole, I don't know why. Alex Jones eat my belly fluff. I was twisting those words up there. My ego bumps planets. What do I think of the colonial system and shit? Yeah, it's like diluting our own spice, having no ego. Yeah, you know, it's always when people get a little bit of information and they go off half-cocked on it. And this colonial system, I don't, you know, I don't have pride in things, but if I pride myself in something and it's not knowing specific language to, like, I know the things. I'll say something like, yeah, that's called the colonial system, but like I don't know that it's named that. Like there's a lot of things out there that I don't know the proper name for, because I don't like to use even if I do know the proper name for something, a system, I tend not to use it, because if I use it, it puts someone's mind into their perception of what that system is. If I explain what the colonial system is without saying colonial system, I can adjust and steer people's consciousness to actually get a better understanding for themselves what it is. Because if I say colonial system, somebody looks up the word colonial and system, they put them together, and now they're shown something by the you call it a dictionary, it's called a definitionary, because it defines something for you. And so I get away from that. And so I don't know about the colonial system. I don't really care about it. Like, everything has been colonized. What do you mean? The colonial system is cultural system. Everything is a culture. Everything is a colony. You know, and it's always my question for people whenever they start saying shit about, oh, we're this, we're that. Well, what are you going to do about it? What, you know, what's your solution? My solution to all of this is, like, enjoy myself. That's it. Enjoy myself and educate people. That's about the size of it. You know, you know, that whole idea of, like, I care too much about myself, and that's a good thing. And my care of myself bleeds off of me into my care for other things. It's a self-redundifying system. It's self-referential, and so that's what I do. I care about myself, so I care about other things, and vice versa, back and forth, completely. So that's about the size of it. I don't have, you know, what people are talking about starving kids in Africa. And for me, literally, who the fuck cares? I don't live in Africa. There's not shit I can do about it. Zero. And then when you go through all the prospects of sending money, it's clueless. You know those people. You know how much they're taxing your money? Oh, money, yeah, so they can give them drugs, and instead of just, oh, I don't know, giving them clean water. Why don't we talk to all the corporations? What about Coca-Cola? What about the Coca-Cola companies that's stealing all the water in Africa, right? I mean, what about the people that are dirtying the water right down the street from you? Literally, people live next to the water plant, and they're bitching and complaining about it, and their uncle works there. Like, why don't you go talk to your uncle and tell him to stop putting fucking fluoride in the water, you know? But ain't nobody want to do that. They want to go and tell everybody else, well, everything's fucked, everything's ruined. Okay, so what are you gonna do about it? My future is today. That's damn right. What up, Mikolos de Babaj? Olivier Babaj. Yeah, Voldy buddies. I like at least you put the term woke in quotes, because there are a lot of people in Hollywood that are, but they're you know, they still like their paycheck, so they can say enough, but they can't say too much. They can't really say what they believe. So when New Agers talk about the ego, then you put two and two together and demonize being fun and free flowing. Yeah. Lion Strong, fasting is easy. Just here, I'll tell you how easy it is. Because everything is a habit, we're not looking in this life ever to get rid of habits. We're looking to exchange habits. If you have a habit of doing something, exchange that habit for something else. If you have a habit of eating, pick up the habit of breathing. You have a habit of cooking, take up the habit of walking. You have the habit of opening the refrigerator every 15 minutes to look for look for a snack. Open a book. You know what I mean? Like, that's the way that you need to consider and see things. Yeah, it's a little difficult at first because you're reprogramming your mind as you're going through this, but that's how you do it. Oldie buddies, but Astro's RDT sign in. I'm kind of worried, but Astro is about making the ego go down. Yeah, I mean he is, but he got an ego himself. I don't, you know. I think for him, he's confused on the language. I don't think he's confused on what he's trying to say. I think he just doesn't know what the ego means. And what is his RDT sign? What do you mean? What is RDT sign, Voldy? Aldrin, have fun on that fast, man. Gary, the dry fast, man. I'll just go around and say I don't like dry fast, man. I don't. You know, I think you got to be really, really far into it before people start getting into dry fasting. I think dry fasting can be a big problem for people that aren't very well versed on water fasting. So. Huh. In alphanumerics, oil is 369. Oblivion. That's hilarious because I was taught. I did a video for somebody the other day on Tesla coil or on Tesla, and how he said the secret to the universe is 3, 6, and 9, and then I got into the work of who did I connect it with? That's so funny. I forgot, but I connected it to oils and the omega 3, 6s, and 9s and magnetics. And propulsion technology and shit. Who was it? Oh, it was Buckminster Fuller. Yeah, I got into Buckminster Fuller, the carbon 60, 369, the omega oils, and magnetic technologies. I made a video for somebody. It was kind of just for them though, because it was so far advanced that, you know, it would confuse people out here. B. Frank, what do I think of the Master Fast? I'm assuming that's the Master Cleanse with the lemon and cayenne and maple syrup. I think it's a great idea for people. I think it's brilliant. Yeah. I mean, I think people do it a little too strict, but yeah, it's a good idea for sure, for certain. RTM, his symbol for it. Voldy, you still on worry about symbols? It's like a circle cut in black and white is basically a mandala. Yeah, of course it's a mandala. You all gonna make me come out here and make some crazy mandala that looks all demonic and evil, and I'll just have to teach you a lesson on why it's not. I mean, I feel like most people are past this. You know, everything is a mandala. Everything is a mandala. Your life is a mandala. You know, the Mayans made a giant mandala. The clock is a mandala. It's a moving mandala. And using these things to increase your energy and power, if you know what it is and you like what he has to say and you want to share your power with him, that's a great idea. But if you don't and you're wary of him and his knowledge, then stay away from them. You know what I mean? You can't be worried about a symbol or a sign, because there's plenty of people that use fearful signs to keep people away that wouldn't respect the knowledge. But what do I know? Is planet Earth a mandala? Yes, it is, Gary. It's the mandala we're standing on. So if we could actually design a mandala in front of us, we could reprogram the Earth completely. This is some old videos I did on what the Mayan calendar was, and time and the Earth and how it expressed itself on the planet. So the clock, the time, a mandala, and this Earth that we're on is all intimately connected. And especially if we used a mandala made with, say, crystals, considering there's crystals in the Earth, nodal points and things. What up, Damien? Yeah, Zen, from where I come from, Slavic doesn't necessarily mean slave. Man, I mean, maybe not where you are now, but I've been studying etymology for about 20 years now, and I'm not going to dice things up to say right now Slavic doesn't mean you're a slave. What I'm saying is I know what every single letter stands for and what it means and where it comes from. So there's an energy and there's a portal to every single sound that comes out of my mouth, every single symbol on a page, and there is quite a connection to the Slavic history. The Caucasians and the boats that came to America were almost certainly filled with more Eastern European slaves, Slavics, that came here. There were more white slaves than there were African slaves coming here. The Africans weren't bringing slave ships here with, thousands of people buried. It's ridiculous. Like, when you start to really break that story down, there was more. And I'm talking about as Slavs or slaves, more like indentured servants, or people that were taking on a master that had more money and working for them. So it's kind of like it's essentially the same system we're in now. People work for corporations. They don't think themselves a slave, but they are. They've said, "Yes, boss, I'll do that. Sure, whatever you want, boss." Everyone here, whether they like it or not, they're part of a slave indoctrination, indentured servant / here. They just happen to live farther away from their owner, So, but yeah, the slave thing, man. Like, it's not so specific. And I'm not. It's like this saying, the Slavic nations mean this. It's like, there's just a general region and general idea, and this is what flows in through the language and what we can see as the outcome of where we are right now. And we can look at the people that live in this country and where they came from, all Eastern European descent. I don't work for anyone but myself. Alex Jones, eating my belly fluff. Change the word. Yeah, work. Good idea. You know what I mean? I'm glad you have work. Have work. Never have a job, Even if you do have a job, make sure you say you're going to work. Make sure you feel like you're working. You're working for an outcome rather having a job for an income. There's two wildly different things. To a lot of people, that's just language. But once you start programming that in your head, when you think of what job is and the history of that tone and vibration and its connection to slavery. So if you say you're working, you're saying you're going to a job for an income versus I'm working for an outcome, changes everything. One is selfish, one is expansive. Outcome is expansive, income is selfish. Work is what you do. Work provides. Job is death. That's right. Yeah. Nom nom. Love Katash getting that familiar grandma energy. Getting that wisdom imparted. If you're working for someone else, you're part of their dream they've manifested. That's interesting. Yeah. Oh, hey, Oblivion87. Back to that oil. Oil backwards is Leo, like the lion, and the connection to like oil and the sun. It's a golden oil, the sun. So there's a really interesting connection of what we think of as the king of the jungle, as Leo the lion, and lion is Lio, OIL. Yeah, lion and oil and Leo. They're all connected to oil, and all connected to the king, because the king has the oil, huh? There's a big connection there. You know, love Katesh. I always love the word aboriginal, and I think that's one of the larger confusing things to people. Well, you know what ab means? If you put ab in front of something, if you say normal, it would be like normal. And you say abnormal, it means not normal. So if we say original, it means original. If we say aboriginal, meaning not original. So I think there's even something very funny in that. I mean, yeah, we can get into what the term ab actually means in different languages and things, but I always thought that was a funny one. I could never really figure that one out. Like even though they will not term people aboriginal, when they do, they're meaning, oh, they're not the original ones. Yet they are the original ones. Yeah, Buckminster Fuller, man. I think if you connect the work of Buckminster Fuller and Tesla, I think you'll come to a lot of really crazy conclusions. Maybe I'll re-release that video for you. It might even still be up. I think I did it for David Phillips. If you all know David Phillips, he does a lot of urine therapy, and he's into like real metals, and he did quite a long urine fast. I highly suggest his work during that. Indigenous. Aryan Rams, Mars, the Aryan. That's so funny. So I'm sure that you know the connection to Aries and Rams and Mars. I did a whole like, I don't know, 5-page writing on it. If you don't know, check out my Zen Alchemist WordPress. I did a whole connection on Mars, Rams, Aries, armies, hammer, arm and hammer. That's some good stuff. But if you're 16, how long should you fast? It just depends on how unhealthy you feel like you are. I think you just got to gauge it that way, because I don't know you. There's no way of just going, well, you need to fast this long. If you're out of shape and feel like you need to fast for a few days, do it. You know, if you feel like you need to do longer, it's all about feeling, man. Is that rain you hear in the background? It is. It is. What up, Johnny Matrix? There's a local New Orleans. Is that even a New Orleans? Can I say that? I need a New Orleanite. Yeah, thank you for putting that there, Gary. Ab meaning away from. Denoting disjunction, separation. There you go. Rising Love, what you smoked there? Are you asking me? Yeah, Love, tell her, you know, you gotta listen to your body. But remember, the first 3 days are gonna be the hardest, so if you can make it to that 4th day, maybe you'll find out something brand new. I suggest to people, if you're really gonna fast, not doing this intermittent fasting, like, I think it's good to fast obviously during the day and just eat at night. But if you're gonna do a real deal fast, fast for 4 days and then see where you feel at 4 days, because the 4th day is when you're basically your body will shut off, and your body will stop asking for food, and all of your sugar reserves, your glucose, and all of. I don't want to get into the whole science of it, but basically that's when you'll know, like, and you go, oh, mentally I'm clear, and let's see if I can go longer. You'll know then. Nom nom. There's no need to go for more than 36 hours. That's absolutely 100% false. I won't have it, nom nom. I won't have you saying things like that here. There's plenty of reason to fast beyond 36 hours. There's a billion reasons to fast beyond 36 hours. If we're all generally healthy, 36 hours should be about when you should fast for. But because most people are well beyond health, fasting for a day is equivalent to erasing 1 year of your life backwards. And there's a compounding effect of fasting after 3 days because your body actually turns off your stomach acids and turns off all your system, and you go into basically a deep cleaning mode. It'd be like defragmenting your computer. After 3 days, you're defragmenting your entire body. So there's plenty of reason to be fasting on water for more than 3 days, and especially more than 36 hours. In fact, I don't even like the idea of 2 days because I think it will do more of the part where you're eating away at proteins and musculature. So you're only going to be eating up your sugar reserves. Fasting for 2 days is a dumb idea. Fasting for a day is a good idea. Fasting for 4 days is a good idea. Fasting for 3 days is a bad idea. 1 day is good, 2 or 3 days is bad, 4 days or more is great. And so that's the end of that. I'll put my foot down. that's coming from high level teachers. In fact, I'll read something out of a book for you if you want. Am I eating something? Yeah, I am. Here, I'll show y'all. Here, because you ain't gonna be able to read it. Let us see here. Selene Capanis. I don't know if you can. Oh, here we go. You see, Selene Capanis. It's a shamanic dream herb. It's an African shamanic dream herb. Oh, no. Hey, love, I think you heard me wrong. 1 day is brilliant. 1 day is a great idea. 2 days is a bad idea. 3 days is a bad idea. And this is specific scientific bodily reasons for this. And I could get into all that. And I kind of just did touch on it a little bit. 1 day is a great idea. Fast for a day. If you fast for 2 days, you're getting into the point where your body is in starvation and is actually going to be eating away at your musculature. This is why people that have eating disorders tend to not eat for 2 days or this is not just the throwing up. This is like not eating for 2 days and then eating something. And the reason they get so skinny is because the body is in a point of starvation and eating musculature. After 3 days, the body becomes very hyper intelligent and aware that it's not getting fed, and therefore it turns off all of the standard functions. And it starts eating away at fats and other things. So yeah, 2 days is not a great idea, I don't think, especially considering how much intermittent fasting has been popularized by people within certain communities, and anything that becomes popularized, I'm very suspect about. And this is as well the way I felt about it a long time ago when I was taught by somebody that has fasted on water for 40 days, 6 times. So, and somebody that actually wrote a book that is probably the second most important book ever written, which is called The Pharmacist's Desk Reference. It is 2 volumes. It is 1,600 pages long. The dude's name is Don Tolman. And so I'm going to go with my dude Don Tolman on this one. No, water does not, because there's nothing in the water. Your digestive system is looking for something to digest, Gary. Digest means to split, and there's nothing to split in clean water. What you split in your digestive system is things that are splittable. You know, like food. There's something to pull apart and digest there. Any kind of sugars pull apart. So, no, with distilled clean water, there's nothing to digest. It's just running through your system. And life is a meditation. It doesn't have anything to do with calories. Calories are the biggest farce on the planet. But yeah, for the uninitiated, if you say no calories, they might think you could eat stevia. Stevia is a product that you can digest. It has no calories. they would think you could eat celery. Celery has no calories. In fact, it's negative calories according to people. Yet it's something to digest. So remember that. We're talking about splitting apart of structures. See if I missed anything here. Aryan Rams, does the water have to be distilled? It's best to distill it. Absolutely best. Yeah, Nam Nam, I get it on where you say on 36 hours you feel like a machine. Yeah, that's excellent. You know, because your body is into that. Okay, let's move kind of mode because you don't have anything to digest in your system. But to do that all the time is it's going to do more harm than good. I think if you feel good at 36, then just keep doing it. You know, go that breatharian route. Yeah, Arian, really, try 4 days. The third day will be tough as anything. But the fourth day, your brain will be connected, will be literally connected to your stomach. Your stomach brain and your digestive system and your brain will be all hooked up. And you'll have a more knowing of what you should do next. And Gary, you said should you eat according to the sun? Yeah, that's what the raw food diet is. People think raw food means raw, uncooked. No, raw food diet means Ra, the sun god. It means whatever is happening locally is what you should be eating. If locally what you have is what's underground, that's what you should be eating. If locally is what you have is fruit, that's what you should be eating. There's a reason for it. In cold climates, you need thick blood. In warm climates, you need thin blood. So what do you eat in warm climates? You eat a lot of sugar and a lot of fruit. What do you eat in cold climates? Oil, things that are underground, things that are dense and rich and hearty, that thicken your blood, that keep you from actually dying in the cold. Where if you ate that kind of thing in the tropics, your thick ass blood, oh, you'd kill yourself. And if you had thin blood from eating fruit where it's cold, you'd kill yourself. You see, it's given to you right in your local environment how you should eat. Rainwater is already distilled, yes. Rainwater is already distilled, Granny. Yeah. Put your water in the sun on the dirt and charge it. Yeah, Oblivion. It said that water ionizes. It ionizes different material into the water, meaning you're getting part of your nutrition from putting it in the sun. And in fact, water and sun means memory, so it's giving it memory. Yeah, preparing for fast is a smart idea. For me, whenever I fast, just because I fasted and I have a different constitution about like how I can control my mind. Like if I'm eating, I'm eating. But like for me to start fasting, it takes me 1 day. Like I just know if I want to start fasting tomorrow, right now, I need to start drinking a lot of tea and juices. Because if I start eating, I want to eat all day. It makes me hungry. Like if I start eating, I'm feasting. I'm gonna eat whenever I want to eat. I'm gonna do what I want to do. But then I go, no, I need to start fasting. It takes me 1 day. I just prepare my mind and then like basically if I do an enema, it gets all the food out of my system, and I'm not looking to put anything to clean out my body. Think of it this way: when you're eating, the only reason you eat the next meal is to push the last one out of you. That's what it's really for. That fibrous next meal is to push the last one out of you. And so that it becomes the Ouroboros. It becomes the cycle of eating. It's what took us away from breatharianism. It took us away from ingesting ether. And then we started drinking water, and we have water in our body. We're breathing water through our skin. But, you know, we're well past that now. I'm not getting on the breatharian tip like, oh, we need to be breatharian, because there's a lot of fun and joy in eating food. But for most people, it becomes the addiction and the cycle of pushing the food out. Oh, Mr. Bizzles, I said I was going to chat with you today or tomorrow or last night. I missed it, but I'll talk to you soon, dude. So if you drink alcohol, does it speed up anything? Let's see. Lincoln Cashneck. Um, well, I mean, depends, man. Like me, I've done fasts on juice, water, urine, alcohol, juice, water, urine, alcohol, tea, and I've done them separately and together. I did a week fast on basically urine, alcohol, tea, and juice. So, and water, obviously. And for me, where I was in my stage, I find a lot of benefits to alcohol. But you know, it just depends on where you are. It's going to clean you. It's going to do things. You know, especially if you're using the alcohol as the delivery system for herbs. So like, you know, fast can mean a lot of different things to people. A true, tried and true fast is water. You're shutting everything off. But a fast, meaning just holding strong to something, is like maybe doing a liquid fast. And that liquid fast would, you know, include ingesting all of your nutrition through the liquid avenues rather than the solid matter avenues. So alcohol can be a very cleansative thing. And no, I don't think it's actually making you mentally slower or weaker. It's making you much stronger. You know, Whiskey Wednesdays, you can pick up heavier weights. Yeah, rising love. Fortunate that I can be alone. Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes it's you know, sometimes it's everybody got their own struggles. You know, being alone often can be more of a struggle than being with people, and being with people fucking sucks sometimes. I know. All right, Arian. You read it. Doing too many enemas, eliminate properly. What do I think about that? Oh, it depends on what kind of enemas you're doing. If you're doing water enemas, then there's nothing that's happening there other than just cleansing. If you're doing an enema that is with an herb that is like a laxative, like if you were doing a lot of senna tea, well then yeah, you know. But in the same way, let's remember, in coffee enemas, yeah, that's a laxative, but it's not going into your bloodstream, and it's supposedly just going up to your hepatic vein into your liver and gallbladder and releasing things, and it's not doing any action or work on your convulsing and releasing your what are those things called? Basically, inside of your intestines, the whole process of eliminating. So I think that's just more fear mongering, because if you're consuming those things through your mouth, it doesn't matter. It's getting into your bloodstream anyways. So I don't know. I've never had a problem with, you know, the after effects of using enemas. But then again, I do tend to afterwards consume sauerkraut or yogurt, and so that's a lot of the process. So whether you do like a yogurt enema or just eat yogurt, you're gonna obviously get more of the yogurt and all of its and all of the probiotics if it's not going through your digestive system and burning off some of the stuff. But and I'm not saying put sauerkraut up your ass. That would be funny, huh? Although you know people doing crazier things. I mean, you can even think of like, oh, you're blowing smoke up my ass. That's real shit. Like that's real deal. Like that's a good idea. Like that's healthy. Like, and you can get high from that. That's shamanic stuff. But you know, it's kind of weird. You'd have to be out there to do it. So just to finish off on that enema thing, no, I don't think it's gonna screw most people up. And if it does get to that point, breathing practices, putting in the proper enzymes, putting in the proper probiotics, yeah. Yeah, nom nom. I've never done that, but obviously, yeah. Any oil and high octane mixture, we'll say, grapefruit, lemon juice, apple cider vinegar. You call those like high octane things. Like I'd even say oil and aged urine. I mean, aged urine is crazy stuff too. I gave it to my missus, and she shite it out like a monster. She shit out a monster? I'm going back up a little bit. Bugs and huge spiders? I assume you're talking about rainwater? Ah, you know what? You know, participate. Eat some spiders and bugs. Maybe they're healthy for you. Yeah, man, the crap monster. For me, it was definitely the bile from doing coffee enemas. Oh, love Kutesh, you didn't. Oh, you didn't. You weren't here for the beginning of my rant. You can listen to it. It's just the silliness of it. That's all. Did I ever get into Carlos Castaneda? Yeah. I read his most famous one. It's one where he talks about sewing the eyeballs of chameleons and then talking through them. Meeting some shamans. Yeah, I read some Castaneda. Although if I'm being, like, you ain't gotta sew animals' eyeballs shut. That's a practice that, I think is connected to a little bit of weird shit that doesn't need to be done. Like, I never sewed any eyeballs shut to any animals, and I've done astral travel. You don't need to do that. You could just take the drugs. Like, he took the drugs. You don't need to do some crazy shit to animals. Did it so you could go find your sister? That's crazy. Sewing a chameleon's eyeball shut, doing that, that's fucked up. That's fucked up. Real talk, that's fucked up, Carlos. How about I sew your eyeball shut? How about that? How about I go to find you, sew your eyeball shut, and make you go find your brother? You know what I mean? Hey, whatever, I don't know, whatever. There's plenty of ways to be shamanistic without doing hurtful things to anyone, animals and yourself included. Illuminous, I am having a good morning. Thank you. I'm having chewing on some shamanic. Hey, see, here you go, shamanic dreamer right here. I ain't even got to kick a dog neither. Gary, you know what? I can't agree with you on the fishing thing, man. Fish got no souls. Fish are dead. I mean, I get you on the larger level thing. I think it's another level of consciousness for people. But I think that whole everything is noble. Everything, don't step on any ants. Then you know what I mean. Don't I don't know, man. I think fish have a long history and heritage in the feeding of and nourishing of cultures. Especially when we get into sushi, and especially when we get into things, I think there's something to be, I don't believe for a second I don't feel like fish have spirits unto themselves. Just like, whale, yeah, you shouldn't be killing a whale, you shouldn't be killing a dolphin. Little fish, I think there's something about what it means to be a school of fish, and I think there's a collective consciousness to fish. I don't think there's, I think taking from that is taking a piece of the soul of the fish hybrid, the fish grouping. But I don't think, like, a dog has a spirit. A dog has a spirit, and a dog has the soul above it. A fish is, I think, for me, it just feels that way. I mean, if you don't want to, yeah, congrats, you know what I mean? I think that's cool that people don't have to have fish. And some people don't. You live in the middle of the country, you're not identified with what the water is. But there is something interesting about it, yeah. Your fish told me he was dying in a dream right before he died. Are you sure you didn't connect? And so So you sure you didn't project that? You know. I don't know. And so be it. It's still. I mean, for me, you know, if one day I get if one day I get the download of the fish consciousness, and the fish is like, don't eat us anymore, I won't eat it anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Do I mean you caused his death? I don't know. Did you? And I think you take that like, do you know what death is? Maybe he wanted to die. I've talked about this before. People that eat meat, if you believe in the evolution of things, and if you believe in, and I'm not saying this to you, I'm just saying this in general. If people believe in reincarnation, by killing a fish, you're doing that fish a favor. You're letting it move on to its next stage of life. Maybe that fish goes from being a tiny little fish to being a shark. Maybe it goes on to being a monkey. Maybe it goes on to being a panther. Maybe you're doing it a favor. So I have no qualms with it. In fact, I don't even have qualms with eating meat. I just choose not to do it because I don't want to take on that karma of that creature and all of its memories and history and those downloads. Even if I knew that I was helping it get somewhere else, you know, I can't answer that certainly, but, you know, to me, there's no question whatsoever. You have to be in a really religious place to think that, oh, life has value. A fish is the same as an ant, is the same as a bee, is the same as a tiger, is the same as a human. To me, it just doesn't work that way. And, you know, a fish is not in any way akin to the majesty of a let's say an elephant. To somehow put a fish in an elephant and say that they're somehow the same value is to me silly. Oh man, be frank. How long for the urine fast? I think you just got to go as long as you. The urine will talk to you, man. Your brain will tell you. Yeah, Alex Jones, thank you. That's the simplest way in all my videos. Don't eat animals, but don't become vegan. That is damn correct. The dogs are dancing. Dancing puppies. Yeah, get out of man. Your daughter was devastated about attachment to a fish. Well, you know, on the bright side, you know, teaches her something about consciousness and death. You know, to drop a few tears for a fish, like putting a fish in a bowl is weird enough to me. Putting a fish in a bowl, if you believe in, you know, a fish's life has value, then why do you have a fish in a bowl? That's like putting a bird in a cage. I mean, to me, it's not. But I'm saying, your line of logic would be putting a bird in a cage is the same as putting a fish in a bowl. And if you have the same, and a child has the same value for a fish's life in a bowl as it would a dog, to me there's a stark contrast and differentiation between the death of a fish at the sea, the death of a fish in a bowl, a bird in a cage, a wild animal, a dog living in your house. It has all different value systems. It's all completely wildly different. And the emotional, empathetic part of a human being has to be wildly different between the death of a dog versus the death of a fish. It has to be different. Like there's, you know, oh no, that spider died. Oh no, I stepped, you know, a fly, you know, it flies in your face. You're trying to eat. Well, you not got a fly swatter. You're not gonna swat a fly. You're gonna kill a mosquito when it's sucking your blood. Let's try that. Are you gonna drop some tears over the mosquito that was biting you? You know what I mean? Kids forget easily. Maybe not. Maybe that fish will be the it'll be the one thing she remembers. I remember that day the fish.